Of all the storylines of this year's Republican National Convention, one that is highly underreported but very important: how the Republican Party continues to change its own rules to control the outcome of the National Convention. The latest case of that: 17 delegates from the state of Massachusetts who have now been stripped of their credentials. And just wait till you hear why. It's a reality check you won't see anywhere else. For months, we've been telling you about this ongoing fight between the Republican establishment and the Liberty wing of the Republican Party. We've also told you how these two wings of the party are battling over delegate slots while heading to Tampa. Several weeks ago, we told you how that Liberty wing in Massachusetts pulled a coup, won 17 delegate slots to go to the National Convention. In the delegate process, you can't just take a slot. You have to be elected by Republicans, and that requires a lot of legwork. Carol Claros is one of those Massachusetts delegates.
We worked really hard, like the good old-fashioned way. We, got a list of Republican donors. We phone banked every weekend. Even at home, I was calling people while I was cooking dinner.
And the work paid off for Claros, who was one of 17 pro-Liberty delegates who were elected to go to Tampa and cast a vote for the Republican nominee for president.
We beat some pretty big name people: Carrie Healy, Charlie Baker, a sheriff from my town. We beat a few state representatives, some state committee people, district attorneys. And we're just regular folk.
But before the dust had settled, the Republican leadership issued a decree that all delegates must sign a legal affidavit that they will vote for Mitt Romney in the first round of the National Convention. Claros says that the affidavit was messy, poorly written, and that's not all.
Not only that, but when it was mailed to me, it was mailed to the incorrect address. It was not even, certified mail. Nobody had to sign for it. It was just sent snail mail. And I had less than 3 days to get this thing, signed, notarized, sent out to them by the deadline.
Now keep in mind, this has never been asked for before in the state of Massachusetts. The Republican Party has never required that delegates sign an affidavit. Not only that, but all 17 of these Liberty delegates verbally committed to voting for Mitt Romney in the first round of voting at the RNC. Those verbal commitments, they were made in front of caucus goers, and they were affirmed not once, but 3 times. Even so, virtually all 17 delegates finally decided to go ahead and sign that affidavit to make sure they were seated. Again, this has never been asked of a delegate before. Even though they did so, apparently it wasn't enough. The Massachusetts State GOP officially decided to strip all 17 of those pro-Liberty delegates of their credentials and have them replaced.
They look for, young voters, and they turn away an 18-year-old. They're looking for Hispanic voters. I'm Hispanic. I'm first generation born in this country representing my Colombian-born family, and they kicked me out. I'm a mother. They kicked me out. They're kicking out business owners, nurses. It's ridiculous.
Which has left these Massachusetts delegates heading to Tampa anyways to fight to be reinstated.
We had every plan and every intention to go down and represent the state of Massachusetts and vote for Mitt Romney, and we really wanted to have a say in the platform about auditing the Federal Reserve and, having Congress only declare wars. The president just can't, go and declare wars. And we really wanted to speak out about keeping the internet free from the government.
And that may be what you need to know. Look, some of the delegates who were supposed to replace these 17 say they won't do it because the action was illegal. But at this point, it seems that what the Republican leadership is doing isn't even about the presidential nomination anymore. It actually seems to be much more about silencing the Liberty delegates who, regardless of the nominee, will have a say in shaping the party's platform for the next 2 to 4 years. The push by Republican leadership now seems to be to keep these Liberty delegates out of Tampa and away from the convention as much as possible. It's the only thing that makes sense when a state like Massachusetts, that's only 11% Republican and dropping, would work so actively to disenfranchise these delegates, and not only them, but the more than 2,000 Republicans who voted for delegates in the process. And that is Reality Check. We wanted to show you this website. If you'd like to learn more about the process of those delegates getting reinstated, you can check out this website. It's malibertycaucus.com for much more information there. And it's got articles from the Boston Globe, the Boston Herald. And as always, if you'd like to make your voice heard on the story, you can head over to my Facebook page. You can search it by Looking for Ben Swann, WXIX.